We're in the midst of a huge transformation where our peers, communities, and workplaces are all really melding into one. Welcome to Reimagining Company Culture. My name is Christina Giuliano, she, her, and hers, and I am the Senior Partnerships Manager here at AllVoices. Today, I'm super excited to welcome our next guest onto the interview series, Jakeim Jackson-Bell. He is the founder and president of For Sure Resumes and Consulting and Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Outreach Manager at the NBA World Champions Milwaukee Bucks. Jakeim, thank you so much for being here. If you want to share a little bit about yourself for our listeners, including your pronouns, and when you were younger, do you remember how you answered the question, what do you want to be when you grow up?
It's a pleasure. Happy Friday, Christina. Thank you all so much. It's an honor to join, all voices and be able to share not only what I'm working on, but just, my impact in the community as well. Jakeim Jackson-Bell here, pronouns he, him. Originally from Dallas, Texas, as Christina said, founder and president of For Sure Resumes and Consultant, where I work closely with not only students, but also professionals from entry level to executives, really helping them build their personal brands, helping them understand that it's more than just, applying for a job opportunity or,
Right.
applying to get into graduate school or undergrad, but it's more so how do you stand out amongst so many people across the world that are competing for the same opportunities that you are. So that's kind of where I come into play, helping you really build an effective cover letter, have the right resume, really, help people build out a real strategy as well to obtain those opportunities that they're seeking, salary negotiation, interview coaching, also LinkedIn profile optimization as well. In addition to that, one of my bigger roles is serving as a diversity, equity, inclusion outreach manager here with the Milwaukee Bucks, which is I consider the number one team in the not only the NBA but across the sports. I think we have a really family oriented environment here, a really strong culture, and I know we'll speak a little bit more about what is culture exactly. I think we have some of the best leaders in place as well across the NBA, and we're doing some amazing work here. I always believe that teamwork, makes the dream work as well. So originally from Dallas, Texas. Always, my number one dream was to actually play in the NBA. I love basketball. I grew up playing tennis, basketball, football, baseball. So pretty much like a athlete in a sense. But the high school that I graduated from is the Townview School of Business and Management in Dallas, Texas. And we didn't have sports, so I had to play for my home school. So it was more so I've always, focused on my academics. My parents really pushed me that, you can be good at sports, but, it's always going to be academics first. So the cluster that I graduated from was the Business Management Center. So the school actually had business, it had science and engineering, it had health, it had education, talented and gifted, many different clusters. So I began pretty much studying human resources in high school. Started my sophomore year of high school. One of my teachers said, "Hey, I think you would have a great career in human resources. I think you're a people's person. Just look into it." So I started taking classes in high school, and that pretty much led to me obtaining my BBA in HR management from the University of Texas San Antonio, one of the leading Hispanic Latino institutions in the country. Following that, I had during my undergrad, I had a HR internship for a nonprofit sports organization. I always tell people I wouldn't recommend it. I'm a huge advocate for paid internships, but it was just a sacrifice that I made in order to get my feet wet. But I was also mentoring, and I was a basketball coach at the time for the nonprofit sports organization called Standard of Athletics there in San Antonio. And of course, during my undergrad, the San Antonio Spurs was a really good team. They were in the finals. They won it during my time there. So I really had the opportunity to really see that there's opportunities for me within sports and entertainment. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get there, but one day I will. And kind of that was my goals on my list that I really wanted to achieve. So my HR internship gave me that opportunity. and pretty much that led to me my first job before I graduated. You know, by the time I graduated from UTSA, I had a full-time job opportunity awaiting me in Houston, Texas, where I was an HR administrator at a private school that was geared towards students with learning disabilities, which I'm very passionate about. My mom is an educator, and she's been working with students with learning disabilities for over 20 years. So it's something that I've been around. I'm very passionate about, which ties into my role now, that I'll speak about later. But um, I've worked in a few different industries, following my opportunity at the private school in Houston as HR administrator. Worked a few months at American Airlines as well in HR. Worked at Samsung corporate office in Plano. Spent 2 years with the Atlanta Hawks, which was my first job opportunity in sports and entertainment and human resources. Following that, I worked at a hospital at the peak of COVID in Dallas right before I received this job opportunity with the Milwaukee Bucks. First person to hold this role. The Milwaukee Bucks always stood out to me. My dad was actually born here in Milwaukee, so it's still kind of
Okay.
surreal. The first year they won a championship, my dad was born. Yeah. So it's been an amazing journey. Next month will mark my 1 year here with the Milwaukee Bucks and being here in Milwaukee. So yeah.
Well, congratulations on your almost year anniversary with the Milwaukee Bucks. It sounds like a really, as you mentioned, family-oriented place, really rooted in values, and appreciate you sharing your personal journey to this work as well. I could tell that these are things that you are really passionate about too. In terms of your day-to-day, I'm sure there are many different projects and initiatives that are pulling you in different directions. If you were to say what's top of mind for you, what's the next problem you're currently trying to solve?
I was just being able to continue building a more diverse and inclusive and welcoming environment for not only our team members but our fans and guests as well. So that's pretty high priority for me right now, and just building the right talent pipelines to ensure that not our demographics internally reflect the community that we serve here in Milwaukee.
Absolutely. And I think that's really important to the overall company culture of the organization too. When we're talking about talent and ensuring that people feel like they belong at the organization, that they are seen, heard, and valued. From your perspective as well, what would you say are qualitative and quantitative ways we can really measure that culture?
Well, I think we do a really good job of always gauging the interest through surveys to see, exactly how our team members are feeling. What can we improve as not only an HR department, but as an organization in general. I feel like the HR department is always the heart of every organization because we have the opportunity to really shape the organization in a sense. But we're constantly, I think that's why I said we have some of the best leaders because they're very hands-on. We're hands-on as a HR department as well to see how team members are doing. So I think you measure it by, if team members are happy, are they growing as well. And they feel like they, have a sense of belonging and having a voice and, truly being able to bring their true authentic selves to work. So I think we do a really good job of, as a Bucks family, having those difficult conversations where we give, our team members that platform to speak how they feel. And, we hear them out as well.
Absolutely. A really key part of that too is just having a conversation, asking how people are feeling and actively listening and continuing to do that on a regular basis as well. You mentioned that you think the Milwaukee Bucks is the best team around. And I think that the Milwaukee Bucks is an organization that a lot of people recognize too. And I want to ask how you see the team really in a unique position to set an industry standard in diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah, I think not only just talking about it because there's so many different layers to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and if you look at some of the reports that the data, we're definitely progressing. I think being able to be a leader not only just in across the NBA, but in sports and entertainment. being able to provide more job opportunities for women, more job opportunities for people of color, building the right talent pipelines, connecting with veterans, and also, providing more job opportunities for individuals with disabilities as well. Just earlier this week, we had a guest speaker, Becky Kukula from Wisconsin Disability In, where she was able to really, provide us some essential tools and valuable information in regards to better supervising and interacting with individuals with disabilities. So it's being able to continuous, training and giving our team members the useful knowledge that they can implement it not only just here at the Bucks, but outside of the organization as well.
Yeah, that information is so critical in training and investing in resources. And I'm familiar with Becky's work as well. So that's an awesome opportunity. You mentioned kind of having lots of experience creating diverse and inclusive talent pipelines, whether that's folks with disabilities, people of color, women, and just being really reflective of the community that the Milwaukee Bucks is in as well. Once people are in the door, there are lots of conversations around how do we get them to stay here? How do we make sure that they feel like they belong and can grow their career? From your perspective and experience, what is the key to the retention of key talent?
Well, I think is really, I think we're very intentional here with the Bucks organization, specifically our HR department, of being able to work closely with the hiring managers, figuring out, we show the hiring managers where the demographics are in Milwaukee. We show them where we are from a demographic standpoint as an organization. We show them where they are within their department demographics. And with those open job opportunities, we're more intentional on what the needs are and being able to recruit and post our jobs in the right places and be able to specifically target talent where once we bring them in, they feel inclusive and have a sense of belonging. So we actually have 3 employee resource groups currently, and we plan on adding more this year. So we have our Women's Initiative Network that supports our women team members. And we're actually, last year, we had a total of 94 new hires, and 57% of those new hires were women. So we want to continue improving that, which kind of ties back into, you know, being able to provide more job opportunities for women. We also have Pride Alliance that supports our LGBTQ plus team members as well. And through these employee resource groups, we actually drive a lot of our diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives through these groups, not only internally, but what we do in the community as well. And then the last one we have is Black, which stands for Black Leaders and Advocates Creating Change. And I know we'll speak more about it later, what we're doing during Black History Month as well. But that supports our African American team members. And we give our team members opportunity. You don't have to be a part of these respective classes, but you're able to be an ally and be a member of these groups as well. To be able to learn from the people that we work with every day, and be able to network with people you may not work closely with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I mean, as a former employee resource group leader, I think these communities are so important to build company culture, to create connection across the organization too, and really have that support of the company too, to drive initiatives forward, be employee-led, and have that executive and kind of leadership support. In terms of kind of the external community, you mentioned kind of the Milwaukee Bucks commitment and impact. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that looks like and why it's important to the team?
Yeah, I think we do a really good job of what we do in the community, whether it's, pushing the community to vote, or whether it's providing job opportunities for the youth, or whether it's supporting, local businesses. With the championship, things were great because it was during it. We're still in a pandemic, but with us winning the championship, a lot of those local businesses here in the city that may have closed, that now they're up and running, driving more revenue probably than ever. So that was really great during the playoff run for us. Currently, building a talent pipeline for the youth, working closely with our CSR department, We're a part of a group called Employ Milwaukee Earn and Learn program, where it creates a talent pipeline for youth, being able to learn more about the moving parts outside of the players on the court. We're also a part of Boys and Girls Club, Brighter Future program as well, being able to create job opportunities for the youth. So we want to continue being a part of programs like that, where we're catching the youth early and letting them know that, it's more than just a Giannis dunking a basketball or a Chris shooting, but there's a lot of different moving parts um, past the court.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's great that you're working with organizations who are also in the community as well and continuing to build those long, sustainable relationships and working with the youth in the community. I think that a lot of companies over the past couple of years, and especially over the past 2 years, are making changes to the way they're doing business, the way they're thinking about talent recruitment and retention, and also diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is really great. Can you tell me about how you've redesigned kind of a system or a process to be more equitable recently?
Yeah, I would think, one of the first things is like rebuilding our talent acquisition process, kind of piggybacking off of earlier, is that once we, uh, improve the talent acquisition process where we're more intentional with our hiring practices, we're seeing where we're being able to improve our demographics when it comes to recruiting and hiring. So that has been good for us as well. We also utilize a software called Textio. So 2021, we were ranked the number one team in the NBA for the most quality and inclusive job descriptions. Just being able to eliminate, the bias in a lot of job descriptions and the harmful language that would discourage, especially, the marginalized groups from applying for job opportunities. So we've seen a peak in, people that apply. Like I said, we had 57% of our new hires last year were women. So it's, having our job descriptions have a feminine tone for more women to apply for our job opportunities.
Love it for inclusive job descriptions. I know there's a ton of research out there that says that's often a point of where people opt out themselves to the roles because they don't meet each of the bullet points or the years of experience or the jobs as well. And I know at the beginning of our conversation, you were talking about kind of your journey to human resources. And I think that's also a change we've seen over the past few years too. Do you think the perception of human resources or people teams have changed over time? And if so, how?
Yeah, I think the way HR is definitely, forever evolving. There's always some new information, new trends out there, a new way of doing things. That's why I really love, where I'm at now, because we're considered a small market team, but we operate as a big market team, and you have the opportunity to be able to come in, with the creative and innovative ideas, because we definitely have to be able to stand out amongst not only just other NBA teams, but just in sports and entertainment and just as an organization in general. So we have to always be a step or two ahead of our competitors when it comes to what we're doing internally, what we're doing in the community. But I think, HR is forever changing. And evolving, especially you have more organizations that's committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. I think that adds another layer to it. With the pandemic, things have changed. How team members, even for recruiting and hiring, of what people are looking for in organizations. So how are you tailoring what you do internally to attract the right talent? So yeah.
Yeah, I think that we've seen a lot of innovation in the space, and I think that a lot of leaders really leaning on their human resources folks to help be strategic business partners and solve a lot of questions and business imperatives as well over the past few years too, as things are always changing and what people expect from their companies as well. And I think that building trust is something that is continually worked on too. How do you and the kind of HR team continue to think about building that trust with talent, with potential employees or candidates?
uh, I love that question. I always consider my HR team, I call us the HR dream team. I think one of our best assets is the organization definitely trusts us. Our team members trust us. We have an open door policy. And when team members have issues, I think we're on top of it. Right away, we're able to have those conversations. We're able to really solve problems in a timely manner, and we're really there for our team members more than anything. If you were able to ask our team members, what do you all think about the HR team? I think there would be a lot of people that say great and amazing things because we really show that we support our team members. You know, it's our family away from our family, so we do a really good job of being able to connect with our team members. Like I said, hear what their thoughts. They're having a voice. Like if something is going on, how can we support you? What essential tools can we provide you to grow as well? So I think we do a really great job here as a HR team.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely can't be taken for granted. Something that you kind of build over time, and that the team kind of trusts the HR team as well too, because like you said, it's a family oriented environment as well, and those meaningful connections. We touched on this a little bit earlier, but I definitely want to dig into how the Milwaukee Bucks is honoring and celebrating Black History Month this year, recognizing that here in the United States, February is Black History Month, but I know I think it is October in the UK, and definitely, want to celebrate our Black employees 365 days a year, but definitely want to ask.
Yeah, oh man, I think we're doing some really great things surrounding Black History Month, and we have some really good activations going on this month. Some of the things we're doing, we're bringing in guest speakers, to kind of speak about racism and what is giving our African American team members opportunity to have a platform, and not only just Black History Month, but to be able to have those conversations about how you feel, your experience as a Black African American employee, working in corporate, some of the stigma just around, how do you raise your children, how to, having those difficult conversations on, color, how, police brutality, how do we deal with that? So I think we're having those conversations. We highlighting local Black-owned businesses throughout the month. During the games. Also, let's say if it's a Black-owned restaurant, we're implementing that through our pregame meals for our team members. We're sending out, um, different what we call Black facts that people may not know. Just being able around Black history, highlighting some of um our Black excellence in general. A lot of Black leaders that were able to a part of Black history that done some great things, being able to highlight them. um we're also partnering with Johnson Controls for our inaugural HBCU night, where we'll be providing Milwaukee high school seniors who will be majoring in a STEM focused degree, $4,000 renewable scholarships, and we've making a 4-year commitment with that. We're doing a youth panel on the 28th, prior to tip off, that will consist of one of our minority owners, as well as a few internal team members who are HBCU alum or a part of Divine Nine fraternities and sororities. Of course, we don't have any HBCUs here in Milwaukee, so it's important that these high school students get information on what representation matters. So, being able to see people that look like you and they speak about their HBCU experience and just their career, and being able to give the youth valuable advice as they think about their next steps past high school. Also, we'll be having a networking mixer as well, where we'll be highlighting the HBCU scholarship winners. We'll also have one of our internal team members who is a HBCU graduate to do a spoken word as well. So it's just giving an opportunity to bring together not only HBCU alum and members of the Divine Nine, but opportunity for them to network. People who are interested, wanting to learn more about HBCUs, just bringing everyone together for a great night before we host the Charlotte Hornets. So yeah.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like a lot of really intentional programming, supporting Black-owned businesses, highlighting HBCUs, really investing in the youth, as you were talking about, and community, and really supporting the team internally as well. So I think that sounds really, really great and important too for the team and for the community. Jakeim, is there anything else that I didn't ask that you want to share with folks who are listening, or one to two key insights you hope listeners bring with them after hearing our conversation today?
I would say make sure to buy your tickets before the 28th, bucks.com slash HBCU night on the 28th. You don't have to be a HBCU alum or a member of the Divine Nine. Just come out and support a great cause, a great initiative. Also, the Bucks are always hiring for a number of full-time and part-time job opportunities. So bucks.com/careers. If you see any jobs that you're interested in, we highly encourage you to apply. You can reach out to myself, Jakeim.Jackson@bucks.com. Yes.
Incredible. Jakeim, thank you so much for taking the time to be on Reimagining Company Culture. I enjoyed our conversation today.
Yes, me too. It was a pleasure. It was an honor. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And as a reminder for folks who are listening on AllVoices, we really believe in that employee feedback management as a requirement for the organization to really succeed overall. Have a great rest of your afternoon, everyone.